Montpellier's bench is not as strong as it once was, but they can still boast the likes of Nicolas Mas and Thomas Combezu. The biggest boost for Ulster this week is John Afoa is back, the All Black, and how timely that is. Well, Mark Anscombe was satisfied with the win over Tigers last Friday at Ravenhill, but there was an acknowledgement that they can play better, and this reaction to victory over double Heineken Cup champions and European giants Leicester shows not just their ambition, and a realistic ambition at that, but also just how far Ulster have come in terms of being classed amongst Europe's big boys. Reaching the knockout phases in the last 3 seasons, and of course finalists 2 years ago. Today, Tyrone Howe will be another stern test of their Heineken Cup credentials.
It will, Johnny. It literally doesn't get any bigger than this. One of, if not arguably, the biggest packs in European rugby. But it's going to be a massively physical test for Ulster, but they're going to have to draw on some serious self-belief. They got the win against Leicester last week. They believe they can play a lot better. And they also went away to the Ospreys 2 weeks ago and got a crucial away victory in the Rabo. It's those sort of experiences that you draw on, but it promises to be a bruising encounter.
They've played 108 games in this fantastic tournament, winning the thing back in 1999, but they've never won in France until round 5 of last season's pool stages. At the Stade Pierre-Antoine in Casse, it was a huge monkey note, a gorilla off their backs, and now with a win over the Tigers, they seek to repeat the feat and win back-to-back games on French soil today.
Well, in these sort of big games, you need your experienced players to stand up and be counted. Johan Muller leading the pack out there really needs a big game. Tommy Bowe, need to see him getting into the frame, get the ball into his hands early. It's possible that Ulster has the edge out wide, but they've got to get at least parity up front to get the ball flashing out that three-quarter line.
7 changes for Fabien Galtier's side, but looks far more like a first-choice side. Far more like the sides that hosted Toulouse and Clermont earlier in the top 14 this season and won. Captain Hooligans Juan Drago comes into the side with the oval ball gladiator that is Mamuka Gogodzi. Well, they're novices in the Heineken Cup, aren't they? Really only their 3rd outing. And in this tournament, you have to earn your spurt, but it's a statement. What a fine side they are. They reached the quarterfinals last time out, coming out of a pool that contained Toulon, the eventual champions.
They're big, they're fast, they're skillful, they've got experience, they're well coached. You see Fabien Galtier there, but they are relatively novice in Europe, got the quarters last year, but you just wonder, can Ulster surprise them? They did it last year at Castres. But Montpellier will be wanting to get out of the blocks quickly and make a bold statement early in this game. Leighton
Hodges for Wales is the man with a P in the middle. Dry so far. Forecast for a bit of rain. Fantastic atmosphere, fantastic stadium. 2 fantastic teams, both winners in round 1. This is all set up for another Heineken Cup Classic.
Don't block 4.
One of the biggest problems Fabien Galtier has had this season is integrating a lot of new players that came in the summer. There's some money spent, integrated with the Montpellier faithful, the likes of Tranduc and Juan Drago. The first penalty is conceded by the visitors.
Don't come across, run straight.
Ulster will be disappointed with that because there were just signs of early jitters. The high ball being spilled. Rory Best in there quickly, and the referee correct. Chris Henry has to come from behind. Rory Best come in through the gate, just found himself on the wrong side. Before the game we saw both sets of kickers kicking everything from within the halfway range. It seemed to be well within both kickers' distances. It's a bit blustery down there as well.
Certainly is. The wind slightly behind the back of Montpellier, and Anthony Frosch, who was taking this long-range effort. Of course, Francois Tranduc, normally the first-choice goal kicker. Anthony Frosch came over from Clermont, didn't he? Probably grew up in the summer, taking this long-range effort. It's going to be White. Let off for Ulster. But he certainly had the distance, and he'll just put question marks in the minds of the men in white. Ulster.
Well, Flush has that distance in his boot, and Ulster, a very early reminder that they cannot afford to give away cheap penalties in any sort of kickable position.
For Montpellier, like the Irish provinces, stock has been rising significantly of late. Very professional victory over Benetton Treviso over in Italy last weekend. Back at home, different beast though, like most French sides. And immediately they're away with Agusa, the former Ulsterman. Diak goes back, brought into the side with that injury to Nick Williams. Grumpinara is told to use it now by the referee.
White.
With Luke Marshall just about clears, but Nagusa loved his time in Belfast, didn't he? Really good friends with Darren Cave, even named one of his sons after Darren.
Well, I just got a taste of what this Montpellier backline is capable of. And the ball bounced unkindly for Jared Payne, with Robbie Diak in there. And you see there are numbers in defence, but just gets outside Rory Best and just sucks in Andrew Trimble.
You've made contact in the air, be very careful, it's just a penalty this time, okay?
Cantui being warned by referee Hodges, and some early penalties being given away here for Ulster. Not what you want to do away from home, especially in France. Get their tails up, big crowd here, hardly a seat spare, and this place does absolutely rock when their side get going.
Again, there's some mild contact made there, and almost it's as much the Montpellier supporting players not bringing the jumper down properly, but a much easier attempt at 3 points. But Ulster playing into a very stiff breeze. They'll be wanting to stay tight to this Montpellier side and not allow them to build up much of an early lead.
Well, Tranduc can kick and often does. Pelisse, Jonathan Pelisse is the man to take this second penalty kick, the informed scrum half in the top 14. He makes no mistake. 3-0 to Montpellier. Got a feeling we may well see him in French colours during the autumn test series with Morgan Parra banned for 4 weeks. Marchelot, a broken bone in his hand. In that first round, Felice really is the informed scrum half. Lightning pace off the mark, and there's Privat, the veteran, another man formerly of Clermont-Auvergne, in the second row with Scotland international Jim Hamilton, the former Gloucester captain, of course.
Really good chase from Andrew Trimble there, putting Privat under all sorts of pressure. Made the tackle, but a very good clearance kick.
Middle is here, stay where you are.
Trimble gets up, makes a tackle, 2 in behind him, but it's well recovered by Montpellier.
Whole new front row for Montpellier today. And Vachumen, Ivaldi and Maximiliano Bustos. It's that man, Rory Brest, into scrum time.
No, it's just the sack.
Captain the Lions, didn't he, in the summer against the Brumbies. Nagusa gets a hand to it and goes out, and a little bit of luck for Ulster, and they will have the put into the line out.
Well, they need to spend some time down in this Montpellier half just to set up camp, go through a few phases, just ask a few questions of this Montpellier defence. But you mentioned that strength and depth of the Montpellier side. It's a hallmark of the better French sides, but also Ulster now have a much stronger squad, strength and depth in every position.
There's criticism laid at them, wasn't it, years gone by. Great starting 15, but not too much to go off the bench. Not the case nowadays. And you look at Afoa, Henderson, Holding, man who's really coming up the ranks. Here's Chris Henry, Player of the Year 2012. Trimble, just took his eyes off it, didn't he? Sean Agusa, his old friend, coming up against him.
Well, the French midfield defence coming up very hard in the middle of the pitch, but there was plenty of space out wide, actually. If Chris Henry maybe been able to get the ball away earlier in that movement. But Trimble just slightly took his eyes off the ball there. Under pressure, Olafia right in his face. It's a big afternoon for Ulster's back row. 3 very intelligent players, but you wonder how much is it going to hurt the side not having the bulk of Nick Williams early in this game.
And it was a question mark whether Henderson would come in on the blind side or, as it is, Robbie Diak. I think that experience, I think, is probably the call. Is it extra line-out option as well?
Well, you've got to back yourself that the players will give everything in his opening 50, 60 minutes. And if they can stay close to Montpellier, well, then there's a very experienced, very talented bench to unleash. And you bring, you know, Foa, Henderson, Olding, as worked last week with Pinar coming on as well. You know, you've got a chance to try and get even closer, to sneak it. I suppose it's a battle for those players on the pitch, and then you just try and bring on the cavalry.
Big ask though, isn't it, for the first 50 or 60 minutes. Top of the top 14, well, second place, only on points difference to Toulon, Montpellier. Of course, the new scrum engagement laws. Crouch, bind, and then set. Trying to negate all the scrums going to deck. Declan Fitzpatrick had a really nasty bump on the nose last week at Ravenhill. But the scrum grew, didn't it? Tom Court had an excellent second half against Dan Cole. And that scrum has not gone the way of Tom Court. You can see him on the far side, wearing number 1, complaining to the assistant referee. There's Declan Fitzpatrick, and that knows you were down there on the pitch side last week, Tyrone.
You say a bump, Johnny. I saw Declan's nose afterwards, and you could virtually see the bone underneath the cut. It was just an X-cut, just skin openly showing the bone. And it's extraordinary that he's even able to make it onto the pitch. But there you see the body angle of Tom Court all over the place under so much pressure from this front row. And amazing to think that Montpellier have changed their whole front row from last week, leaving people like Nicolas Mass on the bench.
9 out doesn't go the way of Montpellier. Instead, it's Paddy Jackson, who's banging form at the moment, isn't he? Paddy Jackson. Bush goes high. Trimble, he was practicing those before kick-off. Jared Payne, the New Zealander, such a classy operator. Godzi. Up against Wilson, there's Fitzpatrick. Top pass from Jared Payne. It was ruined Pinar. Hardly had a break in 2013, straight from the Rugby Championship into Heineken Cup duty. Trimble trying to chase this one. Flosh was manhandled slightly, there's caught. Diak has missed out for Paddy Jackson. Marshall. Is this one a bouncing field? It does. Fine kick for a man who announced himself on the international stage in the Six Nations.
Lovely deft kick under pressure. The Montpellier number 8 pointed it back up, but he knew fine well inside the line. Great kick. Montpellier looking slightly susceptible under the high ball, and one of Ruan Pinar's great strengths. And as he did, you know, last week, and Jackson last week, you know, the Leicester Tigers back three didn't look overly comfortable. It's one thing you don't want to do is, you know, offer any incentive. Jackson kept on peppering the wings. You can imagine Pinar putting up even more high balls.
You've got 3 kicking options, haven't you, outside of Jared Payne. It was a 4th, really, with Marshall and Jackson as well as Pinar. But Privat has taken the line out. Police. Pedaling is Tommy Bowe. British and Irish line. Tommy Bowe try score last week. It's a good pass, isn't it? To Darren Kay. and sighted to Trimble. Now there's a chance here. Tommy Bowe back to Trimble, steps inside. Ulster were looking for a start here. It's exactly what they've got. Beautifully worked down the left touchline. Trimble looked rusty last week, anything but there.
Magnificent try from Ulster. You see the different tactics in the kicking games. Just Montpellier hoofing it down the pitch. Payne spots the space on the outside, and what a pass from Darren Cave. Didn't even have to look, just sensed Trimble there, and then the two wingers combining. And Trimble just getting a few extra yards. Beautiful try. What counter-attacking. Darren Cave, that is the pass that makes that try, taking two players out. Superb.
#21st try. Heineken Cup duty for Ulster. Top try scorer for the Irish province. Jackson striking it so well before the game. No reason for that not to be the case for that conversion. Montpellier rocked here.
That pass from Darren Cave, it is so skillful. Just take a look up, he knew where Trimble was, gave the ball full pace without even looking. Brilliant vision from Cave and great finishing between Bowe and Trimble.
As soon as Bowe got the ball, he sensed it, didn't he? Dangerous back three, experienced back three as well. But Darren Cave, love to see that again. The eyes, just watch the eyes, just fix the defender purely with the eyeballs. Bowe is chasing this one. Galtier just about takes it, but then he's bundled into touch. And this huge travelling support here from Ulster. They've been flying in all over France, Spain as well, and getting the train up. Huge amount of them here.
Well, the noise level's just gone up ever so slightly again from the Ulster supporters, because it's the high ball jinx really catching out this Montpellier back three.
And this is a Montpellier side that smashed 19 times, champions of the top 14 Toulouse. And back that up with a 43 points to 3 hammering of Clermont earlier this season. Pelly saying, oh, got to watch him. Ruben Pienaar and Johan Muller are there. Ulster penalty. All going the way of Ulster at the moment.
Just putting the pressure on. You just thought he might sneak through, but Ruben Pienaar, the sweeper, just providing enough on the ball. And then Rory Best. Wow, we've seen him do that for a long, long time. So difficult, that low centre of gravity. Now look at 4 Montpellier players trying to grapple him off the ball.
But mine being described as a limpet over the ball there. Barnacle. They do have a fabulous home record. Never beaten in this competition here at the Stade Yves de Manoir. And you have to go back 13 months to Racing Matro's visit here to find when they last lost in any competition, a run of 18 games. The task is a stiff one for Ulster, but a task at the moment. They are meeting head-on. Ruben Pienaar. Asked David Humphreys, the director of rugby for Ulster, who would be kicking. Paddy Jackson is the #1 kicker, but is slightly further out, and Ruben Pienaar is the man. Not bad to have 2 kickers of this kind of quality in the Ulster ranks. Every point matters in this competition, especially away from home. Bounces off the post. There's a lot of fear. Man quickest to react, the Springbok. Tranduc. Nice subplot there, isn't it? Down to his opposite number, Paddy Jackson. 2 men playing for their hometowns. Francois Tranduc again, another man. With Joachim Felice having a excellent start to the top 14, but not required by Philippe Saint-André in their autumn squad, which another head-scratching selection from Philippe Saint-André.
Well, Ulster have done very well to play themselves into this game, aided by a few French mistakes, and with one opportunity converted. And that try from Andrew Trimble, they'd be delighted with the way they currently sit in this game.
As I mentioned already, that high ball is a definite tactic of Ulster. Looked at that. 22-16 it was against Leicester. Leicester coming away with a losing bonus point. Fascinating round of ties. Dramatic finish at Wembley last night for Toulouse. Ragusa and Henry that went forward off Ragusa.
Forward off 14.
There'll be a big sigh of relief there because the bounce of the ball came back on the Montpellier side and then overlapped. But Ragusa just getting up, knocking the ball on. You saw Diak in the line out before taking the ball. I think that's maybe one of the reasons that Diak has been preferred to Henderson early in this game. Henderson going to be unleashed off the bench, one imagines, in the second half. And Anscombe likes Henderson coming on, that impact player, and Diak has been in good form this season and just maybe gives a little bit of solidity in that line out at the back.
Henderson very much the impact sub.
Okay, we talked before the game
about
being in the engaged, in the crouch position year on year. You're too far apart. You need to step up onto the mark.
It's amazing to think, I mean, Ian Henderson could start for Ireland in the autumn internationals and yet coming off the bench for Ulster, but certainly you would expect. You see Niall Malone and David Humphreys. Humphreys on the right there. He wanted it to stay dry here because he wanted to move the ball about, move this gigantic Montpellier pack around. And so far so good, although the forecast is maybe for a little bit of rain as the game goes on.
It's warm though, isn't it? Shirt sleeves weather. And the scrum goes back. Michael Ivaldi, warned by the referee, standing a little bit closer. He came from right through the Toulon Academy, signed in the summer. Huge amount of players, like 15 that joined Montpellier in the summer. We've still got the likes of Rennie Ranger, the blues man, Robert Everson, South African centre, and
Bind! Set!
Timani, the
Yes, nine. Yes, nine.
Wallaby international.
Ball is out.
It's a little unsure that he's coming or not. He's definitely in the Australian squad to tour the autumn.
Back without the ball.
He's still to come into the
Tackle
squad.
without the ball.
Ruben Pienaar tackled. A little bit messy, wasn't it, between Roger Wilson and Ruben Pienaar, but they've come up with a penalty. Police just a little too eager to get in on his man.
Well, some you win and some you lose, and this is one that Ulster definitely won. When the ball came out, the referee was quite clear about it. Police obviously thought, well, just jouer, just get in there and put pressure on. But the penalty going Ulster's way.
You can see that given the other way, can't you? But Ruben Pienaar, all that international experience, 71 caps for the Springboks. Leaving the ball alone. Police tackling him, Leighton Hodges giving the penalty, and Paddy Jackson now. The fourth kicker we've seen already. Tries to add to his tally. Conversion already. It's gone wide of the posts. Two misses for Ulster, one for Montpellier. That's 6 points down the drain, as it were, for Ulster. Will that be an issue come a final whistle? Neat little kick-off between Tranduk and Privat. Payne.
White, 7, hold.
Well, we started in the Rabo Pro 12 final, which of course also reached last season. Flush, good angle from the fullback, looking to get the ball away, wasn't he, to Tuatavaki. Hamilton now. Rodri. Police. Priva, 34 years of age, still a huge work rate on the man. Bustos, the Argentinian. Picked up a couple of caps for Argentina in the summer, wasn't involved in the rugby championship. Kochemen. Tranduk. Looking for that space just behind the also first line of defence. Paddy Jackson was there though. That sort of sweeper role. Pienaar charged down by Hamilton and Priva. It's been a pretty decent kick to get over those two. Bow. Hagley loves to run. In amongst the forwards. Montpellier looking for that ball. Crowd incensed by the decision by referee Leighton Hodges.
Again, Ulster getting the rub of the green in that one, because Tommy, you just thought might have been slightly isolated, that a player over the ball. The one, he's got to stay completely on his feet. And players coming in behind, I think, didn't help either. But the referee certainly on Ulster's side there. Really, Route 1 rugby, big ball carriers from Montpellier. And from an Ulster point of view, that's a great sound to hear, this Montpellier support booing, jeering the referee. And it is certainly not the sort of atmosphere so far in this game that you associate with Toulouse at home, Clermont at home, Toulon at home. The crowd being silenced by this Ulster side, and Mark Anscombe and David Humphreys will be very happy.
Saw a shot of Mario Ledesma. Legendary Argentina hooker. He was at Clermont, wasn't he, for so many years. $1 million fear. Just come off the field. Compozu is on. Early change in the midfield then for Montpellier. Tranduk upends Marshall. Johan Muller leads the side so well. Pienaar, of course, just signed a new 3-year deal. Jackson says to Montpellier, you go back, you play from there. Sensible, intelligent rugby from a man who's only 21 years of age.
It is, it's calm, it's patient, it's composed. The ball carrier's doing the job. It's not on, although there was maybe a slight overlap out wide there, but very intelligent kick through from Jackson, just keeping the pressure.
Drago with the line out. Now the maul is set. 3 points to 7. Ulster are up. The problem with the score clock from our host broadcaster here. Early try for Andrew Trimble on the right wing. Wearing 14 anyway, Andrew Trimble. More on the left at the moment. Jackson again. Flush. Takes the mark. As far as Montpellier concerned, he just get into this game, get some rhythm, get some territory and possession.
Ulster will be delighted. You know, they're playing the game in the right parts of the pitch. They're forcing Montpellier to kick, which is allowing Ulster to get their hands on the ball, dominate possession, frustrate this Montpellier side. And you know, as we've seen for a long time, you frustrate these French sides, they do tend to be indisciplined, they do tend to give away penalties.
And Tui. Lively colour of undergarment for Dan Tui. Glow in the dark stuff. I think we'll leave it there, shall we? His second row partner, Johan Muller. Takes the line out. Now Ulster showing with all the strings against a huge Montpellier pack, we must say that. There was hope rather than expectation around the ground from the supporters in white and red. Flosh, again, Jackson just landing it right outside the 22.
No advantage. No, 7.
Gorgodzi has been penalised. They were playing advantage from the referee.
Well, 2 points of real encouragement there. That latter one, the high ball again, putting Flosh, I mean, not really under a huge amount of pressure, but even more importantly, the driven maul there, putting a bigger, bulkier, more physical, heavier pack on the front foot. That'll give massive confidence to this Ulster pack. Gorgodzi, you just see coming in at the side, Diak at the front.
Back in the side, tore his calf back in August in training. That they call Gorgodzilla. Incredible work rate. Now Ruan Pienaar lines up another attempt at goal. He's missed one. Paddy Jackson has missed one. Can't afford to miss too many. Know there's going to be a reaction from Montpellier at some point. Pienaar's just about got the legs, not the direction again. They can't add to their total of 7. But they are playing rugby in the right areas, i.e. Montpellier's half.
They are, but yeah, they would have loved to have converted at least one, if not 2 of these missed opportunities with the boot. Normally you'd be expecting Pienaar and Jackson to slot the vast majority of those.
It's funny, isn't it? Both those kickers, Pienaar and Jackson, striking the ball so well before the game. It's just padded back by Police again. This high ball is causing real problems for Montpellier.
And Ulster sense it, and that chasing line, really aggressive, big tempo. Tom Court out of the blocks there, and Luke Marshall. It's just a swell of pressure. Montpellier so far not dealing with it particularly well.
Jan Odrin bundled into touch by Luke Watts. Marshall, I should say.
My God, Gods, he's got his man in the middle there.
One stop.
Of course, Paddy Wallace, the man who often was worn the 12 shirt for Ulster, still struggling with a raft of injuries. Found a bad replacement, have they? Luke Marshall. Again, confusion in Montpellier's scramble defence.
Use it.
Pellissier tried to score against Treviso last week in that 27 points to 10 win. Here's Jared Payne, such a classy operator. Looks inside now. Henry. Ruan Pienaar outside. He wants quick ball now. The South African scrum half. Votreman has got his hands all over the ball, but legally, says the referee. There was an opportunity to move the ball there from Chris Henry. You can understand, had plenty of bodies around him, why he didn't do it.
Well, the pass to him it stopped him in his tracks. He did so well getting it. But what a counter-attacking run from Jared Payne. But the pass then to Henry, lateral, forced him to turn, took sort of the momentum out of the movement. But Payne just showing against a wall of black jerseys there, just unlocking the door.
Middle here, okay.
Fabien Galtier,
Find them in.
along with Mario Ledesma, coaching staff here in Montpellier. Yeah, great style of rugby, willingness to run the ball. They need that now, don't they? They need to hold on to the ball, first of all. Luke Marshall.
Advantage over.
Tommy Bowe. Advantage is over, just pops the ball up. It's great hands from Dan Tui. Got down really well for a big man, then just tries to flick the ball out. Diak is there. It has gone forward, says the referee.
Yeah, it's just an edge forward, White.
Intent and ambition again from Ulster.
It's the first real passage of play from Montpellier we've seen. Ball off the back of the line out with Drago, and then just flashing it across the pitch, the right lines, but the spilled ball giving possession to Ulster. Dan Tui a bit disappointed that ball either wasn't held on to or just didn't get popped backwards.
He thought he was going to be held up, this choke tackle, which
well, both of them were so upright there as they hit contact. Very difficult to get the ball back.
All in all, David Humphreys will be happy with the start here from Ulster. Saw Glass go down at Stade Mayor last weekend in Toulon. Just freeze.
Just both gone down.
They're not entirely sure why, but just froze.
Let's move this way a little, lads.
In front of big French side on their turf. Not the case here for Ulster. Been away to France, of course. Win over Castres. 9 points to 8, but still a win. And they take a similar 1 point win today, wouldn't they?
5, 6. Yes, 9.
Keelan Gatier. Under 20 international, Montpellier down at the moment, 3 points to 7. Police say here's Tranduc to a Tavaki. The old-fashioned scissor ball. Tranduc, a wonderful rugby player, all over the field this afternoon. Shouldn't be surprised, this is the Heineken Cup. Gusenau. Ogodzi, tackled by his opposite number, Henry. On his hands this afternoon, Chris Henry. Now Montpellier just beginning to get into their stride. Curse to the commentator, they knock it on, but it's gone backwards. Police again, Tranduc. It's fired out from Combezou, Foch can't take it. Just not themselves at the moment, Montpellier.
Tommy Vo did very well, sensed his the pace he needed to come at, great sense of space as well, managed to get in the face and just managed to create that little error and knocking the ball on. Big ball carrying there, but Ulster defending very well, not throwing anybody into the ruck other than the tackler. Tommy Bowe up to make that tackle, puts pressure on, and Ulster live again. There are not too many gaps out there in this Ulster defence. Defence coach Johnny Bell will be absolutely delighted. They have not shipped too many tries in recent matches.
Just have the front row out, please.
And there's a real belief in that defensive system. They come up aggressively off the line.
Just the front row.
Tackler makes the hit and then not committing too many to the ruck, so able to fan across the pitch.
Okay, first and foremost,
Anthony Flosh, who on his own high standards has not had a good start to this game.
If you don't close it up,
taken off.
Okay, and then you need to get
30 minutes into this game. He's dropped virtually everything that's come his way.
Is that clear? Okay.
Young man Benoit Sika has come on. Normally a fly half.
Not gone black here, yeah.
His first professional season. What a baptism of fire to come in at fullback, especially when Ulster are peppering these high balls up.
Real final talking to both the packs. The last scrum was a mess. I think the referee was just quite happy that the ball came out at all, but you wonder at what point will he start showing yellow cards, and at what point, you know, which side will they be given to?
Too far away.
Free kick. Montpellier have been warned. Just dropping back, sitting back on the second row, the front row there. Edging away. And Ruan Pinart says to the Young man just come on the field. You can take that one. He doesn't.
Forward off Black.
And Drago has taken it, but it's come off a Montpellier hand, so referee playing advantage here. Sensible option from Ruan Pienaar. Man just come on the field. Didn't command that high ball at all, Sikar. And Ulster again making huge amount of grounds by using the old Gary Owen.
You wonder as well whether Ulster are actually just benefiting slightly from having a Welsh referee, you know, an English-speaking referee. Just that split second of translation just gives you that little moment to react that little bit more quickly.
Anthony Flossnerman taken off. Missed the penalty early on, then Jonathan Felice got one, and then Ulster responded with that Trimble try, didn't they? Harry Jackson conversion. They've missed 3 penalties since, but it's still 7 points to 3 to the Irish province. Here's Tommy Bowe, Jared Payne, Trimble. He's already got one. 50 caps, he won in the summer. Tried scoring 50th cap appearance against Canada. Jackson into Wilson. Formerly of Northampton, of course, Roger Wilson. Man of the match against Leicester.
And look, Pienaar spotted there was nobody at home with that ball. Just managed to get over the top. No defender at all.
Taken in.
Back into the 22. Sikar. It's come off Ulster. Rob of the green, definitely with Ulster in this first 40 minutes, but some would say you make your own luck. Johan Muller. So as far as Ulster are concerned, they could nick another 3 points before half-time, about 7 or so minutes away. Take it out to 10-3. Very happy with the first 40 as Payne races back.
Yeah, Ulster will be absolutely delighted with the way this match has started. Got to give great credit to the pack. The scrums have been really competitive. I mean, after the first half last week against Tigers, where they were under a huge amount of pressure, gave a few penalties away, they've really addressed that this week. Started off very strongly, and at the ruck, very competitive. The back row working very hard. Muller, Tui, very strong as well.
Uvaldi to big Jim Hamilton, 6'8" of the Scotland international, came through the Leicester Academy, didn't he? And home to Edinburgh, Gloucester captain. 21 appearances in the Aviva Premiership for Gloucester. Jim Hamilton, there's 2 mauls going on here.
Use it!
Police say it's there for him now. Drago. The Trandu, those 2 old friends, schooled here in Montpellier together. Nagusa, who's possession away. Trimble. You just see Trimble was trying to do, saw space. Pienaar, it's not gone too far, this one. Pelisse comes up with one of the shortest men on the field.
Plenty of space out right here.
Tranduc, Combezu, Sikar.
Advantage Black.
Advantage coming to Montpellier. Definitely rocked in the first half an hour here in Montpellier, especially with that Andrew Trimble try. Tranduc, drop goal.
22.
Gone wide. Well wide.
22, yeah.
Again, that sends out a really big message to Ulster when you're having an international fly half snapping at drop goals. Rather than just keeping the ball in hands, putting more pressure for the first time in this game. Real momentum coming from the Montpellier side.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, East.
The Ulster defensive line, 1 or 2 moments slightly rocked, but Montpellier unable to get that offload away. A couple of very aggressive lines being hit here. An offload, a quick ball. All of a sudden there's space on, but Ulster managed to reset. Crowd very unhappy about the body check.
Funny that. If Ulster can keep this to 7-3, at half-time, just a couple of minutes left now. Tranduca's knocked it on.
Back off white. First back off white, then a knock on black.
And backwards from Ulster hand. And
knocked back by white, then knocked on by black.
then Montpellier.
Scrumming.
And also really just want to see this first half out now, don't they?
Because this is your side.
Yeah, you're deep in your own half. You're looking at the clock. You want to get out. You want to get into that changing room. You want to sit down, just take stock. Give yourself a bit of a pat in the back, get the water on board and talk about what you're going to do in the second half. Ulster will be delighted if they can go in at half-time with a scoreline. And arguably, it should have been more because they've had a couple of penalty opportunities that normally you'd expect both Pinar and Jackson to be able to convert.
And a point worth making is that Montpellier, their outside backs, both are outside backs on already. Sikar and Combazu. Only a scrum half on the bench. You have Taliwachu and Nicolas Mas. Of course, the Perpignan stalwart on the bench. But also haven't used their bench at all. John Afoa to come on. Lewis Stevens, another really good line-out operator. Ian Henderson, Paul Marshall, very nippy scrum half. Stuart Olding, Mike Allen as well, one of the joint top scorer in the Pro 12 this season. Things are looking rosy for Ulster, but if you've watched any sort of Heineken Cup rugby in the past, you know.
You know that Montpellier will have their time in this game.
There are twists and turns in this competition like no other.
Yes, nine.
Penalty to Ulster. Call may well have come from the assistant referee on the far side, Tom Court, getting the plaudits from his pack around him. And that is it. That is half-time. And Ulster do hold on to that lead. They've left 9 points out there with the 3 missed penalties, but they have got that crucial try from Andrew Trimble. It is Ulster 7, Montpellier 3 here at half-time at the Stade Yves de Manoir.
Continuity is agility. Amlin sponsors Rugby Union on Sky Sports.
People having ships for tea.
Both sets of players still inside the bowels of the stadium, getting their half-time instructions. Also, of course, Mark Anscombe is a huge fan of this Heineken Cup, says that Southern Hemisphere players come to the north because of the Heineken Cup and the prestige it has. Players can pit themselves against the best the Northern Hemisphere has. And in his words, playing on a big stage in Europe challenge us to be able to handle pressure, to sustain pressure, to work as hard as individuals and work for each other, to challenge each other, to be honest in each other's performance, and just to keep going for 80 minutes when you've got absolutely nothing left. That epitomises this game, and that is what this competition requires of us. And that is exactly what his side is doing at the moment at the first 40 minutes here at the Stade Yves de Manoir.
Yeah, they'll be delighted, and Mark Anscombe will be delighted. We've got to say, mind you, that Montpellier have been exceptionally poor, given that this is their home pitch. There's such expectation of them in this competition. They really fancy their chances, and Mario Ledesma will have given those boys a real roasting at half-time. You expect now Ouedraogo, Gorgodza, Privat, Jim Hamilton to try and get Trinduk and Police on the front foot, give them some go-forward ball and try and unleash the undoubted talent that is in this back line. But Ulster, really, it's just a case of more of the same. Expect Pinar, Jackson to put this ball in there. Interesting, we can see John Afoa warming up in the dead ball area. He's going to come off the bench. Oling will come on, Henderson will come on. Big test. There's so much more rugby to go in this contest, but certainly Montpellier with lots to prove, and Ulster, well, they've got 40 minutes from what would be an exceptional result here, but 40 minutes is a long time in a rugby game.
It certainly is. 7-3 Ulster lead, and if anything they went slightly behind them. It is swirling down here in this magnificent stadium. As fans make their way back to their seats, a glass of red wine or a beer at half-time, such is the way here in France. But Ulster tactically so assured in that first half. Such a young backline. You look at the likes of Paddy Jackson, and Luke Marshall, Tommy Bowe, one of the elder statesmen, wearing 11, but definitely playing on the right wing.
Starting the second half in good shape, just prodding the ball through there, setting up camp, asking a few questions again at this Montpellier side.
We do expect a reaction from Montpellier. Very poor in that first half. Trimble, ball ripped off him from his old pal Nagusa, Tomoki Nagusa. Gogodzi was there as well. Tuvaki now for the pass from Trandu. Sika, Jan Odrin. Crowd beginning to find their voice. Veteran now. One cap for France against Argentina last summer. That's better from Montpellier.
It's just a pilot.
Well, and the expectation that Andrew Trimble had actually got that ball, the Ulster pack very much went in to help them out, and instead Gogodzi getting the ball back, placing it. All of a sudden there was huge space, defensive line all over the place. So Ulster living off their wits and really just having to scramble, but they work hard for each other.
Time is off for a second.
Tom Court doing a great job slowing the ball, the ruck there.
Let's get these scrums better in the second half, okay?
Just need the full Ulster Rory Best.
Up, forward.
Just the
closer you are, the better.
Heineken Cup appearances to his name. 44 in all. His 45th appearance today. 44th start. Tells you something about the importance of Rory Best to this Ulster side. Those horrific neck injuries only a few years ago now, an entire season out.
We call the crouch. Let's just get into that crouch position a little quicker for me, okay?
Involved in 2 finals in the last 2 years, Rory Best. Started both the Heineken Cup final 2 years ago. And of course, the Pro 12 final last year. Fabien Galtier looks on. Wonderful player he was, and
yes,
turning into a pretty good coach, isn't he? Some choice words I would have thought at half-time. As Galtier, his namesake, picks up from the base of the scrum. Odra, Gogodzi, the link man, the open side. Pelisse, Jim Hamilton. Ball just squirts out. Jared Payne doesn't just kick the ball away, puts his head up, looks to see what's in front of him. It's Benoit Sika. Pass away, he's there, but Rory Best and Jared Payne gets in on the ball, looking to hold this ball up, and if they do, it would be an Ulster put into the scrum. What's the call here? It is a maul. It is Ulster with a put-in. Every part of their game is really working out for Ulster at the moment.
It is a maul, gentlemen, okay, and playable.
The tempo has gone up ever so slightly, a lot more urgency to the ball carrying the Montpellier side. Trying to get through that aggressive Ulster defence with the inside ball from Tinduk.
7-3 Ulster lead. No score clock from the host broadcaster.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Lights are on here in Montpellier. 2 front rows jostling. Of course, the scrum half has to wait till the referee's happy that both front rows, both packs are stable and steady before he gives the call to the scrum half. And then the scrum half to put the ball in.
The hallmark of Ulster's success in the opening 40 minutes was that solid scrum. I suppose Ulster hoped that they could get parity at the set piece, but actually as the match has gone on, increasingly, you can see Diak pointing it out. The front row creaking on the Montpellier side, increasingly Ulster growing and strengthening. Of course, let's not forget John Afoa to potentially take the pitch at some stage.
Tom Cord, excellent work. I think there'll be an admission that he's not the best tactical scrummager, the best technique in the front row, but he's such a strong man. He's an Olympic trialist for shot put in Australia, where he grew up, Brisbane. Ruined Pinar. Missed 2 in the first half. Paddy Jackson missed 1. Can't afford to miss too many more. Doesn't miss that one. Just snicked over the crossbar, didn't it? To the delight of the big travelling contingent here for Ulster.
Number 1 change.
10 points to 3.
Wait.
But when the kickers were out for the game, actually that was the end that both Paddy Jackson and Ron Pinar were practicing at, and they didn't miss a kick, certainly in the 10-15 minutes that we were watching. So maybe more comfortable actually with the dimensions of this half of the pitch. So getting a feel in the warm-up. Certainly Pinar, he knows his distance. Anything on the halfway line, he's going to be absolutely lethal.
Forward.
Liashvili, Georgian internationals on in the front row. A couple of minutes into the second half. On the loose head side, there he is, wearing 17.
White ball.
11 caps for Georgia.
Just come up on this side.
Say looking to work something on the short side with Privat.
Head and shoulders high.
There's a huge pocket of Ulster supporters to our right-hand side. The familiar song of Stand Up for the Ulsterman ringing out around the stadium. Taliwachu is on. So fresh legs in that front 5 for Montpellier.
Crouch! Bind! Set! Yes, 9?
Good flick up from Wilson to Pinar. Would have been under pressure if he'd been at the base of the scrum. Jared Payne just slices it through for Trimble. Sika, good run from him, looks inside. It's Combezu, Felice, now Drago. This is more the style of rugby that Montpellier have been playing all season and found themselves right at the top of the top 14. Kellen Galtier, the number 8. Felice again. Combezu. Yarashvili with Godzi. Bustos using the big men to truck it up in the middle. To Tavaki, Nagusa out into Trimble. Jared Payne is there as well. Ulster's defence holding out at the moment, but they are taking on water here. Taliwachu up against Johan Muller. Bustos again.
5!
Involved a couple of times in this move, the tight heads.
8!
Crowd find the volume switch. Godzi, so strong, just holding up the ball, but in the end he dropped it and it's knocked forward, and all that pressure comes to nothing, and the crowd whistling and booing now their team. Such is the way in France.
Well, that knock-on from Gorgodze, it's like a get-out-of-jail card, but this is why it happened. Andrew Trimble's missed tackle just shows you one missed tackle in that chasing line, and all of a sudden it just seems as if this French side increases in numbers, players all over the place, comfortable on the ball. But it all came that chasing line after Jared Payne's little stab through with the ball.
John Afoa does come on. The All Black. Calf injury behind him now.
close and high. Just get your bite.
Nicola Mass is on as well.
Well, there's quite literally two heavyweights entering the fray, but when you're playing against these French sides and suddenly things turn and there's a little bit of space, it just feels as if they just swamp you. Players, angles, offloads, and just you're chasing shadows. You've got to keep structure in the game. You've got to keep control.
And also play was structured in nature, a very definite game plan now. First 40 minutes, you want to stick to that and see when it breaks up just how dangerous Montpellier are. John Foe is uprooted in that first scrum. The arm is out for the referee. But Montpellier want more here. Couple of metres shy of the line now. Gogodzi. The Foe is having to do some heavy-duty defensive work. There's numbers out there. Now have Montpellier score? They did their best not to, didn't they? Assistant referee thinks the ball was knocked forward. We are going to Gareth Simmons, the television match official.
Can you tell me if it's a try, yes or no? And can you just look at the pass prior to any possible try, please?
Of course, now.
Playing advantage from this scrum, though, OK?
Television match
try
official can come in, can be asked a question by the referee and adjudicate on these kind of moments. That pass from Trandu.
Well, that looks as if it's gone backwards. I've got to say, from this angle, this is not the angle that's going to show it either. He just worked his way inside. Is that right boot in touch as well? Before the ball goes down, you see the scuff mark.
It's Jan Odrin, isn't it? That angle's not going to show it, but my eye was immediately drawn to his boot. Of course, we are playing advantage from the scrum, so at very least, Montpellier will have the penalty here.
Well, this is going to show us a little bit more.
Are you still checking?
Yes.
That's gone backwards.
There.
Ooh, doesn't show you the foot.
It's with a wider angle. That's checked the forward pass. It's not a forward pass. Does that boot go into touch? You can see from this angle. Big moment here, isn't it?
And just it's that white boot. I think that pass is at worst lateral. The crowd have really found a voice now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Here's a decision.
You've got a decision.
Yes, the decision is the grounding is good and there's nothing clear and obvious on a forward pass.
OK, I agree, so it's a try.
Agreed, agreed.
The try has been given. Montpellier demanded a response to themselves. Mario Ledesma demanded a response at the start of the second half. That's exactly what his players have given him.
And what an introduction for John Foe in the scrum. And when the French get into that sort of position, it feels irresistible, and you just every indication was that Montpellier were going to come away with some sort of points there. But again, you bring it back to that one missed tackle in the chasing line.
Police you can tell from his reaction that wasn't able to add the 2 points. Misconversion from the scrum half. Ulster still have the lead, but by just 2 points now.
Already there's a big question mark now being posed by this Montpellier side. Little test of character coming up in the next 5 minutes for the Ulster players.
They have the ball back though. Pienaar finds Payne. So often does that, doesn't he? Comes back from where the pass been given. The tails are up for the men in yellow and black. Jackson finds Trimble and Taliwachu as well. Jackson or a scrum half-like. Puts the ball down into that corner. Nagusa. Police doesn't have that much time.
That was a beautiful kick from Paddy Jackson. Weighted absolutely perfectly. rolling end over end, but just stopping short right in the corner. Gives no angle at all to get that kick cleared.
Time off, substitution. 12 white. Number 12 white change.
Marshall is coming off now. 50-minute mark. Stuart Olding with a man to replace him. There he is, the 20-year-old. Right through the academy. He was capped in the summer against the United States of America. Ivaldi. Also got to weather this storm the next 5 or so minutes. There's heavy clouds over the Stade de Yves de Manoir. Advantage coming to the home side. Go Godzilla. Wonderful game.
Advantage over.
First Heineken Cup game against Leicester 2 seasons ago.
Ball is there.
16-all draw. Well read by Darren Cave. Says to Nagusa. Go back again. Not known for his kicking, is he? Timoki Nagusa. Darren Cave, that's a good chase from him. Tried to stay on his feet, and he did, and he's won the penalty.
Again, it was just the execution of the kick. Just put Nagusa under all sorts of pressure. Not a natural kicker, an instinctive counter-attacker, but there were enough white shirts there just to affect the turnover. Cave following up his kick. See that left arm just clasped over the ball. And this blustery wind actually does blow right down into that corner. Ulster will be wanting to play most of the rugby down in this half, down in that corner.
This is a real test, isn't it?
It's strange for all the collisions and runs in that first half. Now you feel as if we've got a match on our hands. They were slightly sparring with each other in that first half. Now the match has really taken off.
Montpellier were just not themselves. Just happened in the Heineken Cup. Go back to that first round, the likes of Harlequins and Glasgow in the first half, just not themselves. Same can be said of Montpellier here in this first half, but they responded with that early try from Jan Audrin. Now it's Ruan Pienaar. Excellent penalty work from Darren Cave, chasing his own kick. Ruan Pienaar shouldn't miss that and doesn't. Fabien Galtier not throwing the headphones down at the moment, but he's taking them off.
And there'll be an added little bit of spice between Trimble and Nagusa. They were Ulster colleagues not so long ago. Nagusa wore the white of Ulster before coming to the south of France.
He scored 3 tries in his 4 Heineken Cup appearances for Ulster. Timoki Nagusa. Ian Henderson on for Robbie Keir. He is a man mounted and past us in the tunnel before the game. Huge beast of a man. I suspect a very bright future ahead of Ian Henderson. Already 6 caps to his name.
Use it!
In his debut against South Africa. 2012 Autumn Series. Pienaar. Another played second fiddle, didn't he, to Fura Dupree in the Rugby Championship. Just knocked on from Ruan Pienaar. Did the first bit really, really well.
Forward.
Took the high ball under huge amounts of pressure. Whether there is a hand in there or not, but knocked the ball on, and Montpellier will have the scrum. Frenetic start to this second half.
Well, there had to be a response from Montpellier. You know, we expected it. I think probably Ulster expected it.
Step up.
But you see Ian Henderson, Stuart Olding, come on, Henderson. Do not be deceived by the baby face. Big ball carrier, big offensive hitter in the tackle. Gets across the gain line.
Crouch!
But also really pleased, David Humphreys,
Bind!
Hanscom. with that Ruben Pienaar penalty after the Montpellier try. It's going to go down to the wire, of course. Ulster,
Just step up from me, okay?
back-to-back games in rounds 3 and 4 against Benetton Treviso, home first. Treviso, very difficult nut to crack. Quite the team they were, not quite the strength and depth.
Bind! Set! Yes, 9.
And they'll be looking for at least 8, if not 9, 10 points in those games, and then we'll have Montpellier back at home. Chris Henry's done great work. Stuart Holding, now Darren Kay, space is there. Paddy Jackson will cut back inside. Henderson is there. Went on the ground, but the referee's happy to play on. Henderson needs to roll back the way of Ulster now.
Good.
Do well to get this ball back, they do. Henry, Wilson, Bow, knows there's space out there. Payne, lovely dummy. It's Tom Court, looks inside, finds Tranduke. Now he races away.
Straight out.
That was a golden opportunity for Ulster. They left opportunities out on the field against Leicester. They came through that.
Great tackling, great control from Chris Henry, and here it's just about keeping cool. I mean, Court did well with the ball in hand, but you just wanted somebody else other than a number 1, 2 or 3 over in that part of the pitch. Tried manfully to get the offload away.
Number 4.
I mean, a second row would have reached over from the line for them. Tom Court's not a small man at 6'3", but Jim Hamilton may well have stretched out a telescopic arm to score it. His evening is done. Priva is back on. Not sure that's a blood substitution or not. Priva coming back on.
But again, just shows how dangerous this three-quarter line can be. And you saw the ball handling of Henry, of Roger Wilson. Very intelligent back row.
What I like about it, it's heads-up rugby, isn't it? Playing what's in front of them.
Very calm again from Jared Payne. Just held the ball up, went through the gap. Simple 2-on-1, but the defenders arrived in time.
Now it's the forwards that are driving more. Rory Best is there. Chris Henry fills that space over the ball so importantly. Wilson is knocked back by Nicola Mas. Pienaar says to Muller, take it on. And Drago, great tackle from him, the captain, leading by example. Henderson already heavily involved since he's come on. Foe. God's it. Smashed the Spoa to the ground, but he was offside. Advantage is being played. Henderson going up the touchline. Wilson knew the penalty was coming. Godzilla, too keen to make the big hit.
7.
Big ball carry from Ian Henderson. But really smart play from Ulster, playing short side rugby, bringing it infield, one phase, back where they've got numbers on the short side, just maintaining possession, going through the phases. And you see the short side, big ball carry from Henderson. 1, 2, gets that ball back. And if it hadn't been for Gorgodze, it could have been for Nicola Mas coming back offside.
Take the Ulster hat off for a moment, that's right. The arm was out from the referee. They were playing advantage, and now Ruben Pienaar to take it out to 16 points to 8. This would require Montpellier to score twice. Pienaar is not going to miss from there.
I said there was a little test of character for the Ulster players after Montpellier had scored that try. And really have come back, played rugby in that Montpellier half, taking chances.
And tactically, so good Ulster.
All White.
Kicking game has been exceptional. Their chase game has been exceptional. And just when Montpellier getting their tails up, they
leave him go
to the maul. Paddy Jackson under this one. Montpellier. And Tran-Duc.
Advantage black.
Advantage coming to Montpellier here. They know they're in a real fight here. But Godzi knows it.
Advantage over.
Little kick. Tran-Duc is chasing. Tommy Bowe, alert as ever. Plan call, well worked from the halfbacks.
Well, I'll take the Ulster hat off. Dan Tui needed to get down onto that ball. Bending over, trying to get it in two hands, get the body on the ground, get the ball, secure it. Tommy Bowe did well. Sensed there was nobody at home.
Into the last quarter of this game. 2 scores away, Ulster up. Sika.
Play on, no, we've both gone up for it.
Can't take it. Compezu. Can't make the tackle. Stuart Olding can't make the tackle. Compezu. Deep into the Ulster 22. Police say the ball is there for it. Taniwachu also just beginning to drop off the tackles. For Godzi, has that gone forwards? No, says the referee.
Off your feet, White.
Tran-Duc. The step, the double step. Police say again. Henderson is there to meet him and repel him. Building for Montpellier here. Nicolas Mas tries to start a rolling maul. Drago. Godzi needs support now though. Squirts out on the Ulster side. And Dan Tui is there again. Great defensive work. Olding just thought for a moment he might try and run the ball. That's a fine, fine kick from the young man. Ulster out of jail again.
Did if Montpellier had recycled the ball slightly quicker, there were men on, there was plenty of space. But Dan Tui, well, got his hands on the ball on that occasion, and a great run then from Combesu, getting past Payne and Olding.
Time off, substitution.
But a terrific clearance kick from Olding off the left peg.
2 black.
Godza again, the hands letting him down close to the line. Heineken Cup rugby, Mario Ledesma said, in the papers today, it goes up a level. And because of that, you've got to take your chances. It's twice now, Godza is knocked on with the line beckoning.
Do you remember that Tommy Bowe pass at Ravenhill last week against Leicester? They got away with it in round 1. You can't afford to get away with it for too long. You ride your luck in this competition, of course, but luck is not going to take you all the way to the final, which is exactly where Ulster want to be back at. It's Montpellier leaving the chances out there at the moment. Of course, 9 points Ulster left out there in the first half.
Step off here.
For God's sake, his afternoon's work is done. Quercy is on. This is Bianchin, the hooker.
Release White!
Police. Tuatavaki. Haven't seen too much of him. Compliment to Ulster's defence.
Again, nobody in the ruck there by Ulster, making sure they get their defensive line set.
To say it's really their game to lose now. That is a huge up and under from Tran-Duc. So many hands up there, came off a black hand, so John Afoa is allowed to play on. Dan Tui, that's an excellent leg drive from the big second row. Pinar looked up, saw acres and acres of space. Needs to get the kick right though. Tran-Duc, little slip from him. But again, it's such intelligent rugby from Ruan Pinar. John Afoa as well, those experienced players for Ulster standing up when it matters most.
Well, so many hands around the ball there. Came back off to Tavake. Lovely offload from a forward to Dantui, and again just Pinar's kick just slightly takes the pressure off.
The line.
David Humphries will be feeling quite happy with that
Black,
kick.
step onto the line, please.
Ulster the line out,
Onto the line.
right on the halfway line, gives them possession. And all the time that clock is ticking away, 2 scores away, of course, Montpellier.
Yes, happy. Use it! No hands, Black!
Only lost once in the last 18 games in all competitions here at home, Montpellier.
Backwards off Black, play on.
Again, they can't take the high ball.
Use it, Black!
For them, of course, Leicester in rounds 3 and 4. First away at Welford Road, and then back here. Of course, the Heineken Cup takes a break. To top 14 duty. Sean Duke has to go on the weaker left boot.
Great pressure. Forced to get it out as quickly as possible. But again, that high ball coming back to haunt the Montpellier back 3. Audrin, not a big guy when you got a 6'3" Tommy Bow bearing down at you. Terrific aerial skills.
Police is coming up. Dayush. Replacement. Second spell at Montpellier. All the replacements used for Montpellier now.
Well, Police was the form selection, but hasn't just quite had the platform from his pack.
Johan Muller couldn't take the line out.
Don't block, 7.
Tommy Bow. A wonderful try, wasn't it, Ravenhill last week? It's been turned over to a Tavaki.
Advantage over.
Advantage over. Crowd think Lammers tripped up as he ran through. Now Ulster will do well here to take the ball room. Pinar, a better man in that situation, just to calm things down, to get it off the field. Crowd incensed by referee Leighton Hodges, and almost as a reaction to the crowd's reaction, he's going to the television match official to see if there was foul play.
Yes, Leighton.
Okay, can you just review whether there's
Not
any
going to see it from that
obstruction on the
angle.
kick ahead then, please, by White?
It's all caused really aggressive counter-rucking from the Montpellier pack. Well, you know, if I was a Montpellier player, I would be saying that Bowling had not made enough of an effort to get away from the ball. He's coming in to try and make that tackle. Is it just after? These are the decisions that games can turn on, or that can give lifelines to teams.
And if you're an Ulster player, you say, well, he doesn't need to get out of the way. That's
You're not saying, you say he's coming in, he's committing himself.
Of course, the referee looking at it on the big screen here. Need to make their own decision from what they see as well. Stuart Olding.
Leighton, are you happy to make a decision on that?
Yeah, I'm happy. There's nothing in that for me.
I agree, Leighton.
Nothing clear and obvious.
I agree.
Okay, just the line out, nothing.
Just the line out is the decision from Leighton Hodges, who made his own decision, and referees should always make their own decision if they can. And Leighton Hodges saw it on the big screen. Stuart Olding doesn't have to make an attempt. It's very difficult at that kind of pace to step away. But
And now they're saying, well done, Stuart Olding.
they are indeed. Right for the referee to say probably the bang from the crowd influences the decision to go to the television match official. But here come Montpellier. Driving Moore has stopped once, but it goes on again. Also have done well to get it on the floor. Jelly watching. Also not committing anyone to that breakdown at all. Wilson. Just slips. Possession still there for Montpellier. They score here. What a grandstand finish we have. Let's see again. Rory Best, not for the first time in this game, doing brilliant work
there, lads. Black ball
in the tackle.
Look, Black are in possession, neither side are going forward.
Rory Best
just an unplayable.
Will not believe that, because once again he did so well getting in on the ball. Big steal there. He's on his feet, and he's taken out then by Montpellier player.
Just gonna check that he wasn't dangerously cleaned out at the ruck. Around about here.
A bit further on, number 8, Black 18. Unsure if it was accidental, but just check.
Black 18, you
Black
think?
18.
Okay. So time is off.
Referees come in, time is off.
Simo.
We'll go back to the television match.
Okay, so we wanted
some
to
foul
check.
play
There
or
was
suspected foul
a
play.
ruck just after the maul, where the maul went to ground. Can you just check if there was any illegality in the clean out after that, please, by 18 Black?
Okay, checking 18 Black.
The difficulty with the clean out is that
just
Rory
after the
Best
ball, okay?
is so well placed over the ball, he's impossible to actually ruck out of it in a straightforward fashion. So you've almost got to flip him like a wrestler. And I think, you know, they're saying, was he taken out illegally there? They're looking at Black 18.
We're looking at the ruck before, aren't we?
They're looking at Nicola Mass, I think, there.
Puerto is the man just before Nicola Mass to try and take Dan Tui out of the way.
Well, certainly it's the whether the use of the head.
Oh, sorry, Tyrone, it's just that far side. I don't think there's anything in that.
No, it's
not tiddlywinks, is it? Let's be honest.
No, it hasn't been aimed at a particular part of the body.
Gareth, have we seen all the angles? Okay.
Just asking for the one more.
Okay.
This is rugby union after all. It's on the far side. Nicola Mass and Quercy is he led with a head? Maybe this is the angle, isn't it?
Okay, Leighton, you happy on that?
Yeah, we've seen all the angles there, Simo, have we?
Now this, that clear out. It's accidental.
I don't think there's anything in that. I don't think
there's no
intent would have any issue with that.
Okay, I've seen enough.
Yeah.
There's no intent.
Okay, there's nothing in that for me. I'm just going to go with a scrum for the unplayable where we were back there.
Yes, I agree. Nothing clear and obvious.
Okay.
What this is doing, mind you,
it's nothing in that for me. Okay,
sucking
we're just
momentum out of the Montpellier side. You know, they're getting on a roll, but these stoppages, just press
There's
pause,
nothing in that for me, but you
allow
just need to be careful when
Ulster
you are
to just
clearing out, okay?
organise
So it's an
themselves.
unplayable scrum here.
It's unplayable, said the referee, but also worth noting the television match official, clear and obvious.
Just unplayable scrum.
That's another part of the new protocols of television match official. Only if it's clear and obvious does he make a decision on it.
It's also great for the referee to have the big screen in the corner to actually see it for himself as well.
You don't want to see the day when referees don't make decisions themselves that they could do. And it's head on head from Montpellier, and Ulster have the penalty. Tell you what, you cannot believe it.
Need you closer.
Neither can the crowd, and this game is very much slipping away from Montpellier. And this home record, never lost in this competition. This is their third season.
The second time.
But they won 18 of the last 21 home games. Unbeaten in the last 11 European fixtures here at home since Connacht in 2009. The only Irish side to have visited this Stade Yves de Manoir.
Ball is over.
And Ulster will take the penalty, take the line out, take their time. And Pienaar yet again this afternoon will put the high ball up. They know Nagusa, don't they? They know his strengths and weaknesses, and they peppered the Fijian winger all afternoon with those high kicks. In fact, the entirety of the Montpellier back three, and his attack that has worked so well for Ulster.
Nagusa is a heck of an attacking winger, but Ulster know that he is susceptible under that high ball. Pienaar has just tortured him all afternoon.
Here's some way finding a way out of defence. Jared Payne runs it straight back, and this is where Ulster want to be playing the last 11 or so minutes. Paddy Jackson. Haven't seen a huge amount of him in the second 40, but it's been a forward-orientated second half. Here's Wilson. Darren Cave looking for that offload. He so often does, doesn't it? Another penalty to Ulster. And Drago is penalised.
Stop the placement.
He can't quite believe it. Players protesting. Odra giving his tuppence worth to the referee. We'll hear from the crowd what they make of the decision. Tackler has to roll away.
It's two big decisions from the referee. One allowed Ulster to clear their lines, and now allowed them to get into a position where Montpellier have to score 2 tries, and that just, you know, it means Montpellier seriously have to chase the game in this last 10 minutes.
But Ruben Pienaar has to get this kick first. Three penalties in the 2012 final. Not quite as important as those kicks, but it's right up there, isn't it? This to make it an incredible final 10 minutes here in Montpellier. The crowd whistling and booing Ruben Pienaar, but he shuts it all out and adds 3 more.
One white.
Well, with 10 minutes to go, this is made for cool heads. It doesn't come any more cool than Ruben Pienaar. You wouldn't want anybody else behind that kick. 19-8, that is a serious cushion now.
They protected all while Ulster continue to play.
Nobody touched.
Callum Black on for Tom Court. Another good afternoon from Tom Court.
Hands are on.
Still 4 players left on the Ulster
Advantage
bench.
over.
None for Montpellier. Sika, this young fly half, playing at fullback when Anthony Flosser was given the shepherd's crook, wasn't he? 25 minutes into the game. Boshin. Gantier, the number 8, has been turned over by Henderson, is it? It was for a moment. Nagusa. Robbins, Taliwachu.
Off your feet.
The tire of saying that.
Leave it go.
Tranduc. Tuvake. Good ball presentation for the scrum half. Big hit from Dan Tui. Banshi. Tranduc to Sika. Odro. Glad to have the likes of Willie Ranger on the bench now. Here's you. Watch you. Bashins found a way through the middle. Montpellier coming here wave after wave. Galtier's missed out. Tranduc. Surely a try now. It's been left. And it's Trimble racing away. Been kicked ahead by Ruben Pienaar now. Who has the pace? Combazudas.
Ball's out.
But again, Ulster find themselves deep in Montpellier half, and Henderson has turned this ball over. It's loose and free now, Trimble. You could sense the frustration around this ground as Ulster awarded another penalty. The crowd around us stamping their feet in frustration.
This is crazy rugby. Extraordinary scramble defence. Great breaks from Montpellier. They've come straight back at Ulster.
Somebody else is going to have to kick.
you would have staked anything that this ball had gone. Look at that tackle. The ball is just dropped.
Need to kick with a minute starts now, okay?
What a tackle from Paddy Jackson. Absolutely scythes him down.
And then Trimble. Heart in mouth time, but Pienaar was able to get on the end of it. Henderson, what an impact he's had since he's come in the second half. The minute is ticking for Ruan Pienaar. Receives some attention, but this is directly in front of the post, and this surely is the final nail in the coffin for Ulster, and what will be, unless a rugby miracle happens, a famous victory for the Ulsterman. Needs to calm himself. It's a fair distance, but it's right in front of the post. No mistake from the Springbok. 22 points to 8.
Fine margins at this level of the Heineken Cup. Instead of 7 points, clawing Montpellier back into the game.
And 14.
Instead, that door not only slams, but Ruan Pienaar, I think, has very much turned the key and locked that door for Montpellier.
He is going off.
Number 14.
Trimble is going off, or Best is going off. The final fresh legs, and canny work from Ulster. Rory Best puffs the cheeks out. Good afternoon's work from him. He will know the significance of this victory. Mike Allen comes on. Trimble off.
There's still almost 7 minutes to go. I mean, Montpellier, like any French side, capable of brilliance, but from this size of a lead, you just cannot see, with the control that Ulster have had, you cannot see Montpellier coming up with something.
I mean, they don't have the big bucks. There's Bow. Ulster want more here. Line out in the 22. I was just about to say Montpellier don't have the huge amounts of money the likes of Racing and Toulon. There's always going to be a question whether there'll be a focus on one tournament or the other, not the resources to challenge on both. And I think we're possibly seeing that here this afternoon.
Really interesting from an Ulster point of view. These last two games, last week against the Tigers and again against Montpellier, the high ball has been a major difference between the sides.
Play on.
Can't take the line out. Woodra, the winger comes in.
Don't block.
Need to go for it now, don't they? Montpellier, accuracy wasn't there in Italy last week. Accuracy certainly hasn't been here today at their home ground. Marshall, Paul Marshall, the replacement scrum half, into the replacement looser, Callum Black. The front row born in the State Tour. Dan Toohey has a fine game, isn't he? Jackson. Here's Mike Allen now, Oldie. Ball bobbling around. Can't take it. They won't mind too much. Another set scrum, another minute gone on the clock.
Talking to supporters last night, I think the best that they hoped for was a losing bonus point here. Not sure how realistic their hopes were of getting a win. Nick Williams injured, that size, colossal size away from the back row.
Number 4, White.
Ulster needed something from this game, with Leicester Tigers getting a losing bonus point last week. Ulster needed to get something, but what self-belief, what control, and what quality rugby from Ulster. This pack has been magnificent this afternoon.
Time back on.
One man in particular, Johan Muller, makes way for Lewis Stevenson.
Nice and close.
Leicester picked up the bonus point against Treviso last night in the final play of the game, so 5 points to Leicester. And they are the next opponents for Montpellier, aren't they, at Welford Road in December. Whereas Ulster home tie against Treviso. You have to say, Ulster, long way to go in this pool, of course. You have to visit Welford Road in round 6. But this away victory is so hard to come by in the Heineken Cup, so hard to come by in France, especially this kind of arena. They would have stepped in the driving seat right in this pool.
It makes it so interesting. Tigers have done very well getting that bonus point, and the bonus point then last night against Treviso. Ulster now have got that vital away win. Treviso, who knows, could provide a shock somewhere in this competition. Really the banana skin for all of these sides. Montpellier having lost at home, if this stays the way it is, the pressure's on them to come up with something when they go to Welford Road.
Treviso certainly not going to come out of this pool, are they? But may well have an effect on it. Chris Henry, it's coughed up again for Montpellier. A week's long catching practice, I would have thought, for Montpellier in the week. Moving into the next top 14 game. It's Bayonne away from home, and Grenoble and Castres home. Racing Metro away, and then into those games against Leicester. It doesn't get any easier, does it? But this is an incredible home record. You mustn't shy away from this. And therefore, it makes Ulster's performance a bit better, a bit more special. And Drago, it's tackled by Cave, manages to get the offload away to Galtier and Agusa. It's been negated, isn't it? It's an attacking force. It's been a weakness, really.
Knock on Black.
Payouche knocks the ball on the replacement scrum half.
He's knocked it on the floor.
I finally pronounced his name right.
It's what makes this competition so good. You know, for all of us, you know, we can just now go on with the what ifs of round 3 and round 4. You look ahead, you look at the points difference at this stage after only 2 games for the players. Well, they've just got to focus on next week. They have just got to go back to work come Monday morning. For the rest of us, we can enjoy now. So we're talking rubbish and discussing about what's going to happen in the next couple of games.
I have to say, walking around the stadium in Montpellier last night, real buzz that the Ulster fans have brought with them. Absolute beauty of the Heineken Cup. Let's do everything to keep this pan-European competition that attracts the likes of Ruan Pienaar to the Northern Hemisphere, and what an influence the South African has had on this afternoon's proceedings. Jackson, as they did so well in the first half and continued in the second half, just pushing Montpellier back into their own 22, going for the corner, and Paddy Jackson, like Ruan Pienaar, has kicked exceptionally today.
His kicking last week was absolute precision, and what you've had right throughout this game from Paddy Jackson has been absolute quality with the boot, but that tackle under the posts was fabulous and really just reinforced this Ulster victory.
Ulster got a hand in there. It was Tui, I think. Marshall trying to dig that ball out. It's a penalty to Ulster.
17.
Do you think Fabien Galtier is going to have words about the referee afterwards? Galtier and Ledesma will be going mad, but Ulster have been on the front foot for most of the game. You invariably get the way that the referee gives his decisions.
I mean, this is a fair decision. He is off his feet.
There's
absolutely right.
There's no doubt about that. He's absolutely 100% right in that decision.
That is the letter of the law. You could come back to Leighton Hodges, in my humble opinion, influenced by the crowd when they were down here on the 22. So it swings and roundabouts. You can't blame the referee.
I think looking from our position, arguably Ulster have had the rub of the green in some of those tiny 50-50 decisions, but nonetheless they've played themselves into that position. Technically they've been better at the breakdown. We wondered with Nick Williams off the pitch, but Diak, Wilson, Henderson, Henry have all been really effective.
There's Fabien Galtier back to the drawing board for him. Managed to reach the quarterfinals, lost to Clermont last season. Looks unlikely now, must win your home games. And Paddy Jackson rounds things up. Superb kicking game for Ulster here. European now, so the highest quality. The tactics were absolutely spot on for Ulster today.
It was a magnificent performance from Ulster. You cannot underestimate how difficult it is coming to the home pitch of a French heavyweight and coming away with the spoils. Yes, they got the rub of the green. Yes, Montpellier underperformed, but Ulster made their own luck over the course of 80 minutes. They took their chances. Their kicking in that second half, Pienaar and then Jackson at the end there, was absolutely pinpoint. A terrific performance and a full squad performance across every single player. Mark Anscombe will just be delighted. Look at that scoreboard. You would never have imagined that scoreboard before the start of this match. Magnificent from Ulster.
They came here hoping for something. A bonus point was the talk around the stadium for Ulster fans. And Montpellier looking for their 19th win in a row here at home. The first side to ever win a Heineken Cup game here at the Stade Yves de Manoir, Ulster. The result of some note. Taking into consideration Montpellier's home record and their budget, Ulster have dispatched one of the French big boys. And with back-to-back games against Treviso up next, then home to this Montpellier side, Ulster's destiny is now firmly in their own hands. A historic victory in France on the road for Ulster. They have beaten Montpellier 25 points to 8.